Hey y'all, for your practice help today, I have an eighth grader who wanted to show you how to do each of these problems and step by step you through them all. His name is Porter. He's my son. So I'm going to let him take it over and let's minimize you so they can see your screen and you're good to go.
Sorry, that y'all threw me off.
I say it every time.
No, you really? Okay.
Cringe.
Yeah, no kidding. So we're going start number 3, and we gotta highlight all the key words or whatever they are. So start off, you got 270 students. That sounds important. They went on a field trip. 6 buses were each filled with the students. All right, so we got 6 buses were each filled with S students, and that'll be our variable is the S students. And then the question is how many students were on each bus. So let's write that down. We've got 270 students on 6 buses that were each filled with S amount of students. So if we write
Each is the key word for
times and divide.
yes.
All right. So if we write that down, we got 270 students, which were each filled with students. So that'll be times S. All right. Because you don't see any sign there, which means it's times. So if we want to solve that, we got to, let's write it up here. We've got, this is a time sign, so we divide by 6, 6, divide by 270, that goes into it 45 times.
Start with the 4.
Yep.
6 can't go into 2, but it can go into 27 4 times, which is 24. So put the 24 down below. Subtract that.
It goes into it 5 times. So our answer is 45. And if we want to double check that, we'll replace S with 45. And 6 times 45 is 270. So we know we got that one right. Let's go to number 4. Got to highlight all the important keywords, which is Gary bought amount of notebooks for $3 each.
How do you decide what are the important things? Like, it kind of looks like you got everything highlighted.
All right. So there's useless information, and there's important information in 8th grade. So like they'll give you random numbers, so you gotta focus on that. But these are pretty easy. But the important things are they often start with like a minus, subtract, times, or divide word.
So the words.
This one started with bought, which, of course, depending on the problem, it could be a plus or minus. Like,
Gotcha.
if he bought something, how much money does he have left? That's a subtract. But if customers bought something, it's how much money you added.
So your keywords you're saying are words that have to do that mean plus, minus, subtract, or divide.
Like this one
Okay.
means plus or minus depending on the word.
Okay, depending on the context.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Keep going.
And then he spent, which is another one, which almost always means subtract. He spent a total of $15. And then you got the question, how many notebooks did he buy? So if we want, let's write that all out. Okay, so we got the variable N. We don't know how many notebooks he bought, but each of them were $3. And each of them were $3. You notice that word. And then he spent a total of $15. Let's write that down. So if you see that keyword each, it means these are times. Okay? So then
And then
the total
total
means
often
equals
yeah.
15. So if we write that out, and I always like putting the number before the variable.
The coefficient before the variable?
Well, it's not a coefficient yet.
Oh, true.
So
it is now, though.
It is now, though. Equals 15. And so if we want to solve that out, let's write it up here.
Your handwriting is almost as good as mine.
Well, it's hard writing on
It is.
elevated
That's true.
surface. Okay, so this is times because you don't see any sign there. So you go.
Keep talking.
Sorry. So you go divide by 3 because we got to get the variable by itself.
By using the inverse operation.
Yes. Good. So you divide by 3, and hopefully you've memorized this, that 15 divided by 3 equals 5. So you got n equals 5.
Would you mind crossing out that 3 divided by 3? Because they cancel out. Yeah.
So the answer is 5. If you want to check it, you go 3 times 5 equals 15. Because the n is the 5. That's how many notebooks he bought.
Can you just draw a picture of what you were talking about?
What do you mean?
So you were just saying you can check it by taking the answer and replacing with the n.
Right.
Because you're saying n is 5 there.
Yeah.
And is it true that 3 times 5 is 15?
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope you've memorized that by now.
Are you saying it'd be easier in 8th grade if you have your multiplication facts memorized?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially with square roots and all that. Alright. So now let's go to this. Alea is saving her. Oh, that's a keyword often, is saving. That means she's adding.
So one thing that I would like for you to do is maybe read the whole entire problem through so you kind of get the whole idea of what's going on, and then go through it again, and that's when you highlight the important things, because then you kind of know what's useless and what's not.
Oh, I found how to read. Alea is saving her allowance to buy a new bike. She earns $14 per week, and the bike costs $98. How many weeks W will she need to save to buy the bike? Okay, so she is saving. So that is, addition to buy a new bike. She earns. Okay, this one's a big one. She earns, which is addition, right? She earns $14 per. Okay, this is a big word too. Per often means.
It's like each.
Yeah.
Each week, per week.
It means
so
times.
Most often times.
And the bike. Okay, this is a big one too. The bike costs $98. And then you got the question: how many weeks will she need to save to buy the bike? Alright, so let's write everything down. Alright, she earns $14 per week.
And it looks right here that they want week to be W. We don't know how many weeks.
Right, but we gotta write this all out. Okay, and the bike costs $98. How many weeks, or W is what represents weeks, will she need to save to buy her bike? So now let's go through it.
You could just write out that $14 per week. Just write it out 14 times W.
I know, I was getting there.
Okay.
Alright, so you see it says per week, which means every week, and we're asking how many weeks. So if we can take the 14 times W equals 98. That's our equation, and now to solve it, let's write it here. We gotta go divide by 14 and divide by 14. So we gotta write that out. 14 divided by 98. 14 goes into 98 7 times. So you write 7 there. So our answer will be 7. And if you want to double check that, we can go 14 times 7. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 1, 7. 8, 9. Plus, so you got 98. So you got it right. The answer is 7. Alright. Number 6. Let's read it through. Mrs. Jones is preparing a section of her yard for a garden. The area of the garden will be 12 square feet. The length will be 4 feet. What will the width, which is W, need to be? All right, let's go through and highlight it. Miss Jones is preparing a section of your yard for a garden. That is useless information, and you'll get a lot of that in middle school. The area of the garden will be 12 feet. Now that is useful information. So the area of the garden will be 12 square feet. The length will be 4 feet. What will the width need to be? Okay, here's a question. What will the width need to be?
I'm going to step in right now and say that when you find the area of something, areas equal the length times the width. So you can use that to help you with writing this one out.
Alright, so we know the area of the garden will be 12, so let's write everything down. We got 12. The length will be 4 feet. So let's go like this. Let's erase that. And then we go, alright, area equals 12, okay? And then let's go length equals 4, and we don't know what the width is. We got to find out what the width is. So 12 is the answer because that's what the two times together will equal. So then we got width. Let's write that different. We've got length times width equals area. And we found the area. So we got area equals 12. So the 12 is representing the A. And then length is 4. And we don't know what the width is. And so we put that in as our variable. So let's write that down as our equation. That is our equation. Now let's solve it. This is times. So you go divide by 4. And what you do to one side, you do to the other side.
Thank you.
Alright, and hopefully you've got it memorized. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So 3 equals W. So our answer is 3. And if you want to check that, you can you can plug that in right here, and 4 times 3 equals 12. Alright, number 7. We are almost done. Alright, Nick and Jake ran a total of 27 miles combined. Nick ran 13 miles. How many miles, M is a variable, did Jake run? So let's highlight it. Alright, Nick and Jake ran a total, so that's all together, that's basically our equal signs, right? Equal sign right there. Ran a total of 27 miles combined. So both of them ran 27 miles. Then Nick ran 13 miles. How many okay, here's the question. How many miles did Jake run? Okay, so here's our question. Or here's the answer. Okay, so you got 27 miles, right? And there's that total, which means equals. Nick ran 13. So we got 13. How many miles did Jake run? So this is a subtraction. Oh, shoot, right? This is subtraction. No. This is addition. My bad. Plus the miles Jake ran to get 27. So to do that, this is our equation, by the way. 27 equals 13 plus n. So what we're going to do is, since it's 13 plus m, the opposite of addition is subtraction. So we go minus 13, and what you do to one side, you do to the other. So you go 27 minus 13, which equals 14. So our answer is 14. And if you want to double check, plug this in to the m, and 13 plus 14 is 27. Alright, Last one. Kaylee and Hannah are selling candy bars for a school fundraiser. They sold a total of 74 candy bars. If Hannah sold 45 candy bars, how many did Kaylee K sell? Alright, so let's highlight all the important stuff. So Kaylee and Hannah are selling candy bars for a school fundraiser. That is useless information. We don't need to do anything with that. They sold, alright, this is important. They sold a total of 74 candy bars. If you notice, total is our equal sign right there. If Hannah sold, okay, here we go. If Hannah sold 45 candy bars, and here's the question, how many did Kaylee sell? So let's write it all out. We got a total of 74 candy bars, okay? And we use that total right there. Hannah sold 45 candy bars. How many did Kaylee sell? So we want to add these two to get to 74. So we go 45 plus K. Alright. Am I doing that right? Yes. Alright. So you go, and the opposite of addition, right, is subtraction. So you go minus 45. You do one side, you do to the other. You go minus 45. Shoot, it's been a long time since I've done this.
You have to regroup.
Right, you go like that, right. 14. Hold on, I got it. I got it. I got it.
In 7th grade, you can use a calculator for all of these.
And I will show you why in a sec. I'm going to write an equation that we do in 8th grade.
We're going to make a different video for that.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
In
Later
the next video. What?
You don't argue.
Keep going. Keep going.
I'm sorry. Okay. So then you get 9. Oh, you got to put a line there. You get 9 and then... Oh, no. We get 6. And that is 2. So the answer is 29. And, we got our equations. 74.
Oh, see, I thought you started to do the video.
No, not yet. Alright, 74.
Start again?
No. Plus K. Alright, so we plug this in to here. 45 plus 29 is 74. That is the answer.
So, Porter, is it important to show all of your work?
Yes.
Why?
Because in 7th and 8th grade, instead of doing these simple problems, these are pretty easy, you end up doing a lot harder problems that are tons of steps that there's no freaking way you can do it in your head. I can't even do it in my head.
And he's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Thank you, Porter.
Mm-hmm.